Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today and Tarot. My name is Mel Rose, and I'm here to share your daily aspects. Today we have another iteration of the Saturn versus Neptune coming up in terms of Venus in a square relationship with Saturn. So feeling a little unsteady in our relationship with our close friends, our loved one, or perhaps our finances. While at the same time, in a sextile relationship with Neptune that makes things a little sexy, right? There's an air of cooperation with fantasy and being able to work on our dreams. So that's interesting stuff. Okay, let's get into these aspects. Today is Saturday, June 18, 2022. The sun is in Gemini, the sign that favors sharing ideas, talking about what we think, and collaborating with others. Summer solstice is just a few days from today, and that's the culmination of the sun's influence for the whole year. So here, in the peak influence of these outer life vibes, we collaborate to help our expressed desires come true. Mercury is also in Gemini, and Mercury rules the land of conversation, Gemini. Regardless of your personal Mercury orientation, at this time we are all more effective when it comes to thinking, planning, and expressing. Today, the moon is a waning gibbous in Aquarius, making ingress to Pisces late this afternoon. Waning gibbous moon is a chance to slow down and reflect on the past few weeks. Aquarius wants our attention on the community from the heart. Whatever we can contribute to others to help them have what they need and desire, now's a good time to be thinking about that. Or do something. Gemini and Aquarius are both air signs. Aquarius is fixed, Gemini mutable. So we're carrying out our plans to support ourselves and our communities, and we're sharing with others about what it is we're doing and why. Collaboration is key at this point. We can do more good with more people involved. We start today on the moon side of the page. This is where the transits and aspects affect our inner lives, how it feels to be ourselves, who we are in our hearts and homes, among the people we choose to keep close. These aspects are brief, but sometimes impactful of the stuff we think, feel, know, and intuit. So at 9:09 this morning, Central Standard Time, friends, Moon goes square to Venus. Taurus, Cancer, and Libra, these are your ruling signs. This is the self-care challenge. Our attempts to attract attention at this time may come across as selfish or grasping. In this case, we can resource a little attention from within. Take 5 minutes to simply be. Get grounded, take some breaths, take some nourishment, and give yourself, your needs and desires, the attention they deserve. Not long after that, at 9:47, a void of course moon goes conjunct to Saturn. Capricorn, Cancer, and Aquarius, those are your vibes. And this is a different kind of self-care challenge. The feeling life is in this amplified position with our sense of stability, the feeling life and stability here, indicating the requirement of some emotional strength. Saturn isn't always kind in its lessons, but we are certain to learn. Security and support are not the same thing, but they do hang out in a lot of the same parts of our lives. If we find ourselves feeling unsteady today and possibly compelled to come up with more internal stability than we're sure to have, we won't be alone. Plan A is the plan where we get to have the things just how we want to have them. Plan B is the one that we do to mitigate the pain of not having gotten everything we asked for. I hope that made sense. I threw a few extra words in there. Void of course today is about 7 hours long. When the moon is between signs like this, as it is every 2.5 days, its influence is a little more direct and less filtered. It's just a good time to check in with your intuitive and creative practices, meditate, journal, consult your favorite book or tarot deck, so that you can have the important internal conversations that are coming up about what it truly takes for you to feel supported and secure. And then at 6:01 p.m., Moon makes ingress to Pisces. Pisces is ruled by Jupiter and Neptune, so there's a dreamy sense of expansiveness. We can relax a little, reflect on how things have been going. It is the end of the lunar cycle. Give ourselves a little TLC before we begin again in Aries, like I said, 2.5 days from now. On the sun side of the page, this is where we explore the outer life, how we express ourselves out in the world in our work, social, and civic lives. This afternoon at 1:50, Sun goes trine to Moon. That's Leo and Cancer. Sun trine Moon comes up twice a month, and it's an indicator in this case of the waning gibbous moon. Here, as we reflect, we begin to make a mental list of all the things in our personal sphere that no longer work to help us reach our goals. And we have excellent inner and outer life alignment for these efforts at this time. Our expressed life and our feeling life, they're getting along in a really blessed and positive way, so we can make these plans that we are making to release things, in with a very clear mind. And then at 4:32, Venus goes square to Saturn, and this is through June 23rd. Taurus, Libra, Capricorn, and Aquarius. And here we are back at security and support. Security and support, right? Venus feels secure when they're receiving, according to plan, the things they feel they need to be supported. Saturn, now in retrograde, is calling into question exactly what it means to be supported and whether those things we rely on actually lead to our personal security. And the square vibration here can make things a little difficult in our ability to relate to those we usually receive from very easily. The stress in our relationships comes down to the fears and insecurities that are being expressed in behaviors that don't reflect our best version of ourselves. And that applies, to your friendship life, to your romantic life, and also, to your financial life, right? We express our fears and insecurities in ways that don't work for us. And then later tonight at 11:06, Venus goes sextile to Neptune, also through June 23. Taurus, Libra, and Pisces. Also, here we are talking again about Saturn and Neptune. In this case, the structural side of our loving connections and the loving spirited side of our loving connections. Venus and Neptune, forgive me, Venus and Neptune are here in a positive cooperative vibration with one another. We're open to and sharing about our dreams and fantasies. The connection can feel intense, even erotic. So we may find ourselves wondering if all this sexy connected energy is all the connection we have with this person has going for it. In a relationship where our feelings and commitments are well established, I see this as just another fear coming up, possibly getting in the way of our ability to enjoy one another's company. In the case of a less established connection, this may very well be the case that the physical, the sexual intimacy connection, the good feeling of that is way outweighs the rest of the relationship or the rest of the connection. If you can enjoy one another lovingly without succumbing to mean behavior when you feel uncertain, I see that we can enjoy letting that connection be what it is for now. However, in between sumptuous meals and bouts of lovemaking, if you find yourself struggling with one another for a sense of stability, it may be time to part ways and reflect on how to feel secure with yourself, by yourself. We have some ongoing aspects Mars is conjunct through June 19. Mars rules Aries, and Mars and Chiron are currently adjoined in the sign of Aries. So Mars is right at home, and Chiron, Chiron is there for 5 or 6 years. And this is really just the just be beautiful, your beautiful self aspect. Chiron in Aries wants us to feel free to be ourselves around other people, and Mars says, just do it. Mercury trine Pluto here continues to provide the intense blessing of insight, again through the 19th, which is just tomorrow. Gemini, Virgo, and Scorpio, these are your vibes. Whatever fears or insecurities are coming up at this time, especially where it pertains to the things that are ending or beginning for us, we have this great opportunity to be able to understand consciously where they're coming from and what can be done to manage them. Sun will be trine to Saturn through June 23rd. Leo, Capricorn, and Aquarius, this is your vibe. Our attention is very much on our outer life pursuits at this time. It's okay, in fact, blessed to go ahead, right there, that's the blessing, to go ahead and focus on the work you're doing. The trine aspect says we'll encounter very little resistance, and in fact the work we put in will be transformative to our sense of being supported. Sun will be square to Neptune, 6/23. So you see, Sun is trine to Saturn, Venus is square to Saturn. Sun is square to Neptune, Venus is sextile to Neptune. And this is all hanging out with us just through the 23rd. So for the next few days, there's going to be this very out loud in our outer lives and in our love lives and in our money lives, this conversation we're having where we're balancing our stability against our sense of connection. So what I want to say about the Sun being square, Leo and Pisces, we can make some false starts under this aspect. It can feel somewhat demotivating as we're trying to move in, as though we're trying to move in deep and murky water. Remember your commitments and remember that your efforts are still blessed at this time. Pluto is retrograde through October 8th. Pluto is a ruler of Scorpio. Pluto's retrograde points the transformative vibes toward our personal interiors, bringing about the endings and beginnings we have to go through in order to be transformed into the person who can move about in a world so changed some of us can barely recognize it. Saturn is retrograde through October 22. Saturn rules Capricorn and Aquarius. Saturn's retrograde likewise points the focus on stability toward our personal interiors, asking us to reassess what we think of as foundational to our way of being, and to make sure that what supports me doesn't in turn strip away at someone else's security. Next week, in a couple of days, on Monday, we'll see that third quarter moon in Pisces, a time when we can begin to release what no longer works for us. And since it'll be in Pisces, that might be like emotional crutches that that are no longer working for us. Emotional supports and habits and ways of being that we've had that have worked for us in the past, but no longer work for us. Also that day, Mercury makes a sextile to Jupiter, encouraging us to plan big for the future. That Tuesday is the 21st, and that's the summer solstice. That's one of the 8 festivals on the Wheel of the Year, when we celebrate the peak of the sun's influence with the longest daylight hours in any day of the year. Also, on that same day, Venus goes trine to Pluto, and our loving hearts get a little boost of power and depth with the ones we keep close. On the same day, Sun will depart from Gemini, making ingress to Cancer, shifting from the intellectual to the emotional in our outer lives. And then on Wednesday, not to be outdone, Venus will make ingress to Gemini. This is a collaborative time for lovers. And that's it for today's astrology, friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please like my video, and if you know someone else who may like it, please share. You can also subscribe to my channel and click the notifications bell. I post here every day, and I wouldn't want you to miss a thing. Also, friends, thank you for leaving comments to ask questions and to give me encouragement. Your support in that regard helps me see that I'm on the right track, and it lets YouTube know that you're engaged in the content, which is like a double whammy of goodness. So thank you again. If you want to see the tarot portion for Astrology Today, I invite you to join me on my other channel, Astrology Today and Tarot with Mel Rose. There we talk about the tarot card that sits on the side of the page. We do go over the day's aspects again, and then we play another tarot card that may give us something more to think about. I hope to see you all there. As always, I am grateful to you for including me in your day. My love and appreciation go out to you. And I'll see you all back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today.